Today's a new day, a fresh taste of new grace. Gratitude on sky high. Today's a new day, let the old pass away. Gratitude on sky high. No more chains, no more masks. Time to make a change. No more holding myself back. Answering the purpose cause. Embracing life. I'm valuable in life. Today's a new day, a fresh taste of new grace. Gratitude on sky high. No more flaws. Embracing all. No more limits.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations. I am your host, your favorite life balance and confidence coach, Consuela Nicole, and I can tell you that today's show, you are truly in for a treat. And of course, I need a minute to chop it up with you and let you know what's going on in life and see what's going on in your life, because I know right now life is truly lifing for everyone across the globe, right? So I want to first thank each and every one of you for coming on, chiming in, and sharing the event, sharing the live, sharing the link. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. I see you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you very much for logging in and your continued support. I am looking forward to today's show because, look, check this out. This upcoming guest definitely has a story to tell and a testimony to share. Hello, Brother Price. I see you. Thank you very much for chiming in. So let me tell y'all something, right? Your girl done had a good week. My voice has been doing what it's supposed to been doing. It ain't been acting ugly at all. It's, well, maybe 1 or 2 days. I sounded like, the little mouse. But for the most part, we've been here. The other side part of it is, this medication thing. They told me that it was going to be affecting my hair, right? That my hair may get a little thin, and it's doing that. So I'm going to forewarn you that sometime in the very near future, you may see a little different look on your girl. What it's going to be, you will have to stay tuned to find out, right? And we're going to definitely give my guest a little time. I do see her there. I'm going to bring her up in a minute, right? Hey, Miss Roberts, I see you. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. So let me tell y'all, first of all, if you are watching from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, thank you very, very much for sharing your time and part of your evening with us today. And remember, if you want to keep up with your girl, and you have to be able to keep up with your girl, meaning me, your favorite host, your hostess with the mostest, your favorite life balance and confidence coach, you can definitely find out where I am, what I'm doing, and where I'm going to show up next by going to the website of consuelanicole.com. Now, if you have missed any of the episodes thus far, because we are truly approaching the end of season 1, y'all, and I am extremely excited about it, right? You can always go back and watch the replays at what'sinyourcupconversations.com, or of course by going to YouTube. They are all on YouTube. And at that point, you are able to connect and find the links for each and every one of our guests, their websites, if they have a business, how you can patronize their business, and everything in between. And remember, while you're out there doing what you're doing, life is life, and make sure you go onto the website and get your own journal, right? Sometimes we got to put down the technology, just not right now. I need you to stay on technology right now, right? But there are times we need to put pen and paper. We need you to just get your journal and let your paper catch your tears. You can't wipe the tears off the paper, right? You can wipe it off your phone. You can wipe it off your tablet, but you're not going to wipe the tears off the paper unless you're sitting there tearing the pages out the journal. And I hope you're not doing that, because that is truly your story. And if you don't write down your story, how's anybody else going to be able to tell your story, right? So I think my guest is ready, and we're going to bring her on. But I need to let you know the young lady that I am bringing on tonight is a phenomenal woman. Um, she was introduced to me by our very first guest, Dr. Roy Johnson Jr., and told me that this is a young lady that I needed to speak with. When I spoke with her, I was floored. And y'all know I don't get speechless often, right? So let me tell you about Miss Felicia Lamb. Of course, she is a multifaceted entrepreneur and business owner across the board. And we're going to talk about all of her wonderful business ventures and everything she's doing in business. But most importantly, she is a devoted wife. She is a mother. My favorite, she's a grandma, y'all. She's part of the grandma club, right? We're going to talk about that, right? She is a sister friend, and she's going to be my sister friend too. She just don't know it yet. So I'm going to just put it out there in the atmosphere, right? And she has this wealth of information and knowledge. But most importantly, she has this powerful story that for the average person, it probably would have broke the average person. She didn't allow it to break her, but she did take time to heal. And she's now using it as her testimony. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Miss Felicia Lamb.
Hi.
Hello there. How
Hi.
you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Let me tell you something. I know you got a testimony to share. And technology was like, nope, her story
Yeah.
is not going to be out. Yes, it is. It's coming out today for a few different reasons. And you are truly, and I know I only know part of the story, right? So look, I got my tissue ready, so don't even play.
I got mine
But
too.
I know you are the answer to someone else's prayer, right? So I want to thank you first and foremost for taking the time to join me today on What's in Your Cup conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh, was it Winfried? I see you.
That's
Thank
my
you.
mom.
That's your mom, Mom Davis?
Yes.
Well, hello there. I see your other Jessica. Dr. Lowe, I see you. Hold on. Is this
That's my coach, my mentor, my coach, Dr. Lowe.
And David put it out there.
David.
SGA family is in the house. Is SGA taking over my talk show today? Is that what's going on? I think so. So you know what? We're gonna jump on in. And Felicia, I know I just showed everybody, what the public see, right? Of what's in your cup. First of all, I know you're still working because I see your office back there, but I have my cranberry juice and water today.
Okay.
Because we're going to keep this voice acting right. We're going to keep it acting right. But I know I just told everybody of what's in your cup and what we see when we look at you. But what do Felicia see when she look in the mirror?
Okay, that's a loaded question there. I think now I see resilience. I see strength. Something totally different from what I saw before. Before I knew I was strong. I knew I was, different things. But now I see myself as, when you go through what I've been through, resilience is all you can be now. And I see myself as a stronger woman of God because I've truly had to lean on God to get through this. And I think that I am definitely in the healing process. I don't think you're ever healed from this. I think you learn to adapt and keep moving. So I'm learning to adapt. So I see adaptability in myself. I see that now I can be vulnerable where before I wouldn't be.
That's a
I
big
wouldn't tell
word.
anybody how I felt. I would hold on to everything and just work through it myself. But now I'm more vulnerable. I'm having a bad day. I can't do that. I'm not going today. Like, I was a yes man to everything. And now I'm taking more, taking better care of
Right.
Felicia. Self-love,
Right.
because I truly need it. Yeah.
Okay. And I definitely understand that because I went through that moment of being the yes man. And I actually
Mhm.
talk about that in my book, right? Are you surrounded by a bunch of yes men and a bunch of yes women, those that are afraid, to tell no, or those that you are afraid to tell no to, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's something that we all go through at some point in life. But what really caught my attention is that you use the word now quite a few times.
Mm.
This is who you are now. Um, let's go back maybe 5 years or so. If
Mm.
this is who Felicia is now, who was Felicia 5, 6, 7 years ago?
I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was a free faller. Um,
Ooh,
I would just, I was spontaneous. If I thought of it, I would do it. I wasn't afraid to try anything. I was a go-getter. I'm still a go-getter. But now I'm a little more afraid. I won't say afraid as much as I would say cautious. Now,
yes,
cautious to move forward like I used to. Because now I'm just a little, I guess you could say, different in the aspect of reality. I think
okay,
before I was living in this fake reality, like everything was always going to be, roses and this and this and oh yeah, we'll
right,
be back.
yes,
Very optimistic, very very optimistic. And now I'm a reality person. I'm living in the reality. Everything is not perfect. I do not live in this perfect world, and I am not perfect. So
okay.
before 5 years ago, thought I was perfect. I could do everything, and I was, everything had to be perfect in my world. And now I'm okay with it's not. It's not
Okay.
perfect.
So I know that life was life for you, and there's quite a few things, just like
Hmm.
with everybody,
Hmm.
things happen, right? There are some things though that happened in your life that truly shook you, right? And it knocked you off your pedestal, kind of,
Hmm.
right? Of that perfect world. It popped your bubble,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um, and there's actually, looking at the comments right now, I will tell you there's quite a few people listening right now
Hmm.
that is currently going through
Mm.
knew what you are still working through and figured out how to work through, right? So
Right.
we talked about what's in your cup right now and kind of what was there before. Um, are you able to tell us what was that life changing?
Yes.
What happened in life? What that shook you up where it made you change your outlook on having a perfect life?
So May 19th, I'm working, and we were working from home because of COVID, of course. And um, I was in a purpose class. So I was journaling, just finished working,
Okay.
got out of a meeting, journaling. And my son's girlfriend at the time, she called me and she was screaming in the phone. I will never forget that phone call. And she said, Joshua is dead. He was in a wreck and he is dead. And I said, oh no, he's not dead. I said, just give me a minute. Let me call, let me check. So I called one of his friends, and the friend answered the phone, and I could just hear in his voice something wasn't right. And he
Hmm.
said, I told him what the girlfriend told me, and he told me he said, I'll call you back. So he hung up, he called back, and he said, you need to talk to this other person. So I talked to the other person, and the other person said, I'm not sure, but I think so. He had a wreck. So I called my husband, I called my family, and told them everybody needs to come over. And just so you know, this is my first time giving my full story all the way. So if I get a little emotional, and
it's all about transparency here.
yes,
I'm with
that's true. That's true. And so my husband came in, he said, call the coroner's office. So I called and told him about my son. I was talking to the guy on the phone to see what he had on. And the coroner said, let me call you back. And when she said, let me call you back, it was a few minutes between. And I remember my sister leaving. She said, I'm going somewhere. And his girlfriend said, I'm going to take the kids home because everybody was, screaming, crying. And the coroner called. And when my sister walked out the door and his girlfriend walked out the door, the coroner called. And I remember she said, Felicia, is this Felicia Davis Lamb? I said, yes. She said, I'm sorry to tell you. And I don't remember anything after that. I just remember waking up the next morning. I remember people coming in and out, but I really can't remember the rest of that day. It was a total shock to me. Total. You couldn't have told me that was going to happen. You just couldn't have told me that was going to happen on that day. And so, then from that day, my life, it changed. It changed forever. And it was very difficult to hear that. And even more difficult to realize that my baby boy was gone and died in a tragic motorcycle accident. And so, the thoughts going through my head was he scared? Was he, he was on his way to my house. So was he, was his last thought, my mom? Did he see it? They said he died on impact, but nobody knows that. So, the hard part for me was I couldn't show him because he had a gash in his head. Jesus. I didn't get to see him. He wanted to be cremated. And so I wanted to just remember him like he was. But now I kind of wish I would have gone to see him. But my last phone call with him was that Saturday. And we got off the phone without saying, I love you, which we never do. But that Thursday, before he died, God put it on my heart to write him a 5-page letter, telling him how great he was, how much I loved him, what his name meant, just everything. And I called him that Thursday night and I said, did you read it? He said, I read it, Mom, and I'll call you back. And he didn't call me back. He said, I'm gonna put the kids to sleep. I'll call you back. And then that Saturday, we talked for a brief moment and that was it. And so, yeah, that's how my life changed forever.
This is your baby.
That's my baby. And that's his bonus daughter, Maya. She's 15 now, 14. And yeah, that's my baby.
This is your baby. This is how we gonna remember your baby.
Yes.
On What's in Your Cup Conversations, because I know this was the first time you have truly publicly shared your story on what shook you up, as David called it, life quake, right? And I want to thank you first and foremost.
You're welcome.
It can't be easy. This is something that I personally have not experienced personally. However, I have been the support system to some that have. So I cannot even begin to imagine what you're going through, um, or what your family was going through, right?
It was
So
actually the first tragedy in my family, my close family. It was our first tragedy, and it shook my whole family's world. My whole family will never be the same. They will never
absolutely
ever
not.
be the same.
Absolutely not. So my question, and I'm going through the comments, guys, and I am going to actually share all of the love in the comments that you guys are sharing. So please continue to share them. Continue to send love and prayers to Felicia and her family, because, as you mentioned, this is not something that you would get over. And I hate that statement. I hate when people say, "Oh, just get over it." No,
Mhm.
you're not going to get over it. What you're going to do is learn ways to work through it, because,
Yes.
like you said, you're going to have some good days and some bad days, right? You're going to have some things that uh, that will trigger you to remember, right?
Mhm.
So being able to work through those days, but still be able to remember him as he was. I personally don't think I could have seen him in that state, right? I'm thinking of what you just said, seeing him as he was. I probably would have done the same thing,
Right.
right?
Right.
What is so I know going through that for you and your family, it just threw your entire cup away. You was just
Yes.
you was done. And you
Yeah.
mentioned that this was the first tragedy for your family as a whole. What did it take for you to finally say, okay, we got to do something? I got to do something. Because from me talking to you and going through your social medias, I stalked your
Mhm.
social medias, I did. You seem to be one of the strong ones in the family, right?
Yes.
So everybody, of course, was coming to you, right?
Yes.
What did it take for you to finally say, stop? I can't do this right now. I need to work on me. What did
Um,
that look like for you?
I think when you're going through this, um, it feels like you're suffocating from the inside out.
Okay.
So you don't have the capacity to take on anything else. So what I would do is just text my family and say, I'm not okay, which I probably never said in my life to them until my
Mhm.
son died. Um, and I said, you know, I'm not okay. And I really need you guys to give me grace because I need grace to get through this. And so I told them that I was not well. Before my son died, I had a radio show. I was moving, and a book. I was uh, motivational speaking. I was moving everywhere. When he died, I just stopped, and I knew I was not able to continue or even talk about this situation. Um, I knew I didn't want to talk about him. I didn't want to, not to anyone. What I would
Okay.
do is just at night, just look at his pictures and just, um, I was drowning in my own sorrow. I was drowning, but I wouldn't say anything to anybody. I was depressed. I didn't want to. I saw my face change. I saw my
Mhm.
look change. I saw sadness just come over me. The pictures I have before Josh, vibrant, and pictures after Josh, they're dim, and I can
Okay.
tell the difference in me, because when you're a mother, that umbilical cord, you can feel when something's happening with your children.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you're
Absolutely.
when you're grieving, that umbilical cord is just out there. It doesn't have anything to attach to. And so it's just, you're just trying to figure out how to place this, where to place it. And so I think what changed me was, it was three things that made me think about it and say, I got to move forward. Number one, my children, my grandchildren, they have to see me move in this life and understand that things are going to knock you down, but you still have to keep going. And he has two beautiful children, two beautiful bonus children that I'm an example for. Me and his other grandparents, we're examples for them. So I had to get up and keep going, and definitely not let them see me grieve, because they're grieving too,
Right.
And second, was God allowed me, he gives me a vision that I can't explain. And he allowed me to see grief in human form. And I said, I can't live my whole life and grieve it away, because there's purpose in your pain. And I know there's purpose in this. So I had to reach hard, deep to find, where's this purpose? What do you want from me, God? Because I have to admit, I was angry with God at first. Like, I'm a good person. Why would you take my child? And all I kept hearing was, why not yours? And the third thing was one of my sister friends, Miracle. We were talking one day, and she said, you're on the same frequency. And she said, it's time for you to get off of that frequency. And what do you mean? And she says, like listening to the same song over and over and over and over. And that was me. Oh, I see McDonald's. Oh, he loved McDonald's. I see a Coke. Oh, that was my baby's favorite drink. Like, I couldn't see positive in anything. And I put on the facade like I saw it.
Yep.
Right?
That
That's what we do. And if I saw things getting hard for me, I would just shut down and do something different. But when she said that, I started thinking, I am listening to the same song every day, all day, every day. And so the next day, she told me, drive a different way. Do something different from what you did yesterday. And I started doing those things. And I realized, okay, now I'm moving. I can breathe. And then God took me and placed me in a place surrounded by people to help me with my healing. And SGA, that's where he brought me. He brought me here. It's a part of my healing process. And, so that's the things that changed me and made me realize it's time to get up, Felicia. You've been
So let me ask you this.
3 years.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How long has it been since your baby gained his wings?
So May is a very hard month for me. So there's purpose in this happening in May. Because when you asked me, I didn't know it was going to be in May. And when you said May 8th, I almost told you no. Because I don't like to do anything in May. And something just kept telling me, do it, do it, do it. It's time for you to say something, because it's so many people, and especially mothers, because that's who I can relate with, grieving. So, yeah.
How many years
got
has
on
it
May
been?
19th of 2020. So
So
May
it'll be
19th.
4 years, May 19th. Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
You did. You told me that this was gonna be the first time, and you didn't know if you was ready. And we had almost an hour-long conversation.
Yeah.
And you said, I don't know why, but we gonna do this.
Yeah.
And that's when we talked about the date to have you here. Yeah, SGA is everywhere. I'm just saying. I love it. But you know what? You need, when it comes to elevation and it comes to healing, right? There are times where your normal circle is not going to do it because they can't see you past super mom or superwoman,
Right.
right?
Right.
They only see that super person. They don't know how to communicate with you first when you're in your vulnerable state, right?
Right.
So I get that because um we buried my first grandbaby,
Mm-hmm.
right? My daughter's first child was born directly into heaven, and because I had never experienced it, I didn't know 100% on how to be there for her,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I knew as a mom, I needed to be there as a support system. So telling her, get over it and pray through it. Yeah, okay, we need prayer all day long. Absolutely. I'll be one of the first ones to fall on my face. But outside of that, what was needed, for her to get through,
Right.
these moments. And she still have her moments, and she gonna get me after this. My daughter cannot stand to be around baby powder.
Mm-hmm.
Baby powder is her trigger. So we don't keep baby powder in the house. I don't take baby powder to her house, right? So we had to learn these different things as a support system, right?
Right.
So what can you tell the supporters that are helping these parents, no matter if it's the mom or the dad, right, that has to bury their child for whatever reason? What can you tell the support system about being there for that parent and for that family?
My family is really close. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I noticed is everybody changed to um, make sure I was okay.
Okay.
And but the thing that people don't understand is there's really nothing, to be honest with you. There's really nothing anyone can do for you other than pray and listen
Okay.
when you need someone. Because if you hadn't gone through it, all you can do is give me your advice. This is a every second of the day thing. This is not a, I'm gonna have a bad week, and this is every second of the day. And you don't know what triggers are going to happen during that day. You don't know, the best thing I
Right.
can say is that I know my family loves me, and I have um, a great family, and they can tell when I'm withdrawn or when
Okay.
something is wrong, and they will ask, and I will probably say, "Oh, I'm all right. Oh, it's all right. I'm okay." But just pray and listen to what that person has to say, because time doesn't heal. People say time heals. This is my philosophy. It doesn't. You can't tell me in 10 years I'm going to be better if I just let time pass. I have to do the
Oh,
work.
that's good.
I have to do the work to get through this. So that's what I do, is I constantly do the work to get better. I write down my triggers. If I see something that's going, I write it down.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just be there in the capacity of whatever that person needs,
Okay.
at that moment, because there's no handbook for how to help a mother or father who are grieving, you know,
Right.
that I just believe it's one of the worst pains on this earth that we endure. So I think
That
that
is
the best thing that you can do is just ask, what do you need?
that's a powerful question in itself.
Yeah.
No matter what you're going through, what is it that you need from me right now? And sometimes it's just an ear, right?
Right.
Someone to listen to them cry, or someone to listen to them talk without even responding, right?
Right.
Or go get that bottle of water, or go get their favorite food, or whatever it is, right? Just to give
Right.
them a smidget. And I know it's probably just a smidget of a piece of comfort,
Right.
right?
And I
So
also just notice if somebody disappears, you know, if somebody disappears that was always there or always, check on that person, because a lot of times I disappear.
Okay.
And that's just because I can't talk. I don't want to interact at that moment. I'm having a hard time. But check on your people, that the supporters, check on your people who disappear. You know, if I see people disappear for a while, I'm texting or, hey, sending you love, sending you, especially
Checking
grieving
in.
mothers. That's some more advice that I could give, is just keep a check on those people.
Okay. So we're gonna switch gears just a tad bit, because I
Mhm.
know you had to go through a process, right? And it wasn't easy and it wasn't quick. It wasn't microwavable, right?
Right,
You
right.
had to get in there and become a sous chef and took it in pieces, and you had to do some prep work, right?
Yes.
But in the midst of that, you talked about using it as a stepping stone for what you had going on next. Is that when Felicia Speaks was born?
Oh no, Felicia Speaks was born before Josh passed.
Okay. So what's this? Tell me about this person.
So that person, that was at my first book signing. That
Hmm.
was the happy-go-lucky, the free faller. That was her. Um,
Okay.
and that smile was genuine. And at that time, I thought that everything I was doing was geared toward helping women, because of my past and you know, some things that had happened. So that's what I thought. But in reality, it was all for my son. It was all to prepare me for my son, because in that book I released what had happened to me in the past. See,
Okay.
God doesn't put more on you than you can bear. So he had to
Right?
release that because he knew this was going to break me down. And so that Felicia was releasing and enjoying and super
Preparing.
excited.
Okay. So I know you have some awesome things coming up, right?
Yes.
Uh, check on the people that disappear. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Sometimes we can disappear in plain
That's
sight.
true.
Oh,
That is true.
that's a good one.
That is so true.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Dr. Lowe said, make sure you check on your strong friends.
Absolutely.
So I know we are coming, and I say we because I'm just gonna incorporate myself all up. I told you, you're gonna be one of my new best friends. I'm just gonna put it out there, right?
Yes.
We coming up on the anniversary of Joshua becoming your forever angel,
Hmm.
right? So I understand that you are turning a sad day, what was supposed to be a sad day, now into a positive celebration. Is that right?
Yes.
So,
Thanks to my coach, Dr. Lowe.
yes,
Um, she has helped me. At first, when she gave me the date, I said, no, I don't want to do it on that day. That's the day my baby died. And it was the way she
right.
looked at me and she said, are you sure? And I will never forget that. It was something about it. And I said, it's meant for me to do that on that
I
day.
told you. I told you it was time. When we talked, I told you it was time for you to tell your story. I
Hmm.
didn't know where and everything that was coming along with it, but you are launching and releasing your newest book with some amazing
Yes.
authors Sunday, May 19th, on your son's 4-year anniversary of gaining his wings.
And
This is taking place
I believe in my
in
heart that he orchestrated that. Uh,
absolutely,
I believe it.
absolutely.
I believe it. And because he was always my one of my biggest supporters, and you know, a boy is always a mama's boy. So
Yes,
he was a
I
mama's
have one
boy,
of those.
right? And so I know that he's orchestrating this, and the book um, is designed for this moment.
So I'm gonna tell y'all, I actually tried to get Felicia to share the cover of the book, and she was like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to wait till the book launch."
Yes.
So, for any of those of you that are in the Houston, Texas area, make sure you register. There's a QR code. If you tech savvy and you got multiple devices, scan the QR code. If you are not, you can definitely go to the website and register to attend. Can you tell us, Felicia, what can we expect? And I know I see some familiar faces on this flyer. I see some amazing smiles on this flyer. Um, so I know there's going to be a powerhouse of and a surplus of energy and positive energy and just knowledge, right? What can we expect at this book launch and signing
It's
from
going to
your
be
perception?
it's going to be amazing. It is 7 authors with 7 amazing books, stories, insight, information, and this is going to be a powerful day for me and my family. I just know that my son will be there, and he's going to elevate it to a whole nother level. And so I just think if you come out, you're going to be amazed at what we do, how we do it, how we move on that day with grace, and just come out to see, because you don't want to miss this. You really don't. And especially because we're going to celebrate my baby and, release balloons for him at the end. That's my baby. And I'm just excited to celebrate him in a different way than what I've been doing the last 3 years. The last 3 years, I've been honoring him in some type of way. We planted a tree. We painted rocks to go around the tree. So we've done different things to honor him. Last year, I didn't do anything. I was so low last year. I didn't want to even think about his birthday or his, nothing. The anniversary, nothing. But this year, he has given me signs and different. I just feel his presence, my son, and I know God is walking beside me, because he's close to the brokenhearted. So I know God is right there. He's going to be there in the midst of this, and to celebrate my son, who was a vibe. He was when he came in the room, he was excited. He was going to make everybody laugh. He was the life of the party. So I just know that we're all going to just have a party, and not party per se, but it's going to be
It's gonna be a party. Yes, it's gonna be a party.
All of the above.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can go get me a plane ticket. I want to be a part of the celebration. I'm just saying. I'm in.
Come on.
Look, I want to be a part of this celebration. I love breakthroughs. I love hallelujah moments. I love testimonies that we can scream from the rooftop, right?
Yes.
Because this is what the everyday person needs, right? There is a mom or a dad or a family member that is saying goodbye to their loved ones right now, right?
Yes.
And you have now been able to turn, I'm not going to say turn it around, but you've been able to pivot, right? To add to it so you're not stuck anymore. What's next? Besides this book launch, I'm just saying, right? So first and foremost, guys, you're going to have to go on social media, look up Felicia Lamb, hashtag Felicia Speaks. You need to make sure you are following, you are liking, you are sharing. Because like I said, guys, I would have been and showed you the book cover, how to get the book, all that good jazz. But she wouldn't share with me either. So it is under wraps until May 19th. So make sure you go follow Miss Felicia across all social media platforms so you can get the new book and anything else, because your platform is about to open back up.
Yes.
Your speaking stages are about to open back up. this may be the first time that you've told this story publicly. It's not going to be the last.
Mhm.
And every time you share your story, every time you share your testimony, there's going to always be a little bit more
Mhm.
and a little bit more that you're going to share. And it's something that you're not going to be able to prepare for. It's something that you're really just going to have to be led to, because you
Mhm.
don't know who your audience is at that time,
That's true.
right?
And
So
I
I'm just
receive
going
that.
to ask you to continue to listen and be obedient in that manner, because again, you are the answer to someone's prayers, right? They are literally laying on their face. They are balled up in the corner, somewhere.
Yes.
So I'm asking everyone out there in social media land, make sure you share this video. I don't care if you're sharing it from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, copy it from YouTube. Share this video out. Our hospitals are full.
Yeah.
Our cemeteries, Lord Jesus, are crowded, right? After all, it's May, it's Mother's Day. Who did all this in this month of all places, right?
Right.
What else is up? What else is coming about for Miss Felicia? What can we look forward to besides the new book?
Well, my heart goes out to mothers, fathers as well, but mothers are where my heart is. So when I find out someone, when their children died or something happened, my heart goes straight to them. And so I'm writing a book with an additional book with some amazing mothers who've lost their children as well. And I will let you know when that comes out, because I would love to have all of them on your show too. But I'm working on that project. I have a new stage play that I wrote, new production company that I'm going to launch, and I'm writing movies. So I have a movie already written, and I'm writing a new movie, and that's how I heal. That's how I'm healing, is through my writing and through my, my works. And I want to definitely help other people start a profit or foundation, probably a foundation in honor of my son, that helps parents grieve, helps them get through the grieving process. You have to do something different than, you have these 7 steps that you need to go through and all these things. Yes, you may, but you may not go through those. So just an outlet for parents and just different ways of trying to help people heal, and definitely pray. I pray as soon as I found out someone lost their child, I start praying, and I send them, because I send them a message and I start praying, because they can't pray for themselves at that moment. It was a long time before I could pray for myself.
Right.
So I definitely want to do something in that avenue as well.
Okay, so in other words, I need to go work on my acting skills. I need to go get an acting coach, because when you put the flyer out that you having a casting call, I want to be in that number. I'm just saying, I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to do.
It's coming soon.
But I'm gonna do something.
It's coming soon. I promise you, it's coming soon. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, Miss Felicia, I appreciate you. You made my eyeballs sweat more than a little bit. And it is okay, because I thought I had this one. I did. I really thought I had this.
I thought I did too. I thought I did too.
So, for anybody out there in social media land, okay, again, first and foremost, thank you very much for supporting us here at What's in Your Cup Conversations. Again, you can go to the website and you can read up on each and every one of our previous guests, including all of their links to their websites or social media pages, so you can keep up with what each and every one of them are doing. If you have questions, concerns, anything of that nature, or if you have a topic that you want to hear on What's in Your Cup Conversations, because you just don't know how to deal with it, or you haven't seen any information or couldn't find any information, send us an email. You can email us right there at smile@consuelanicole.com. We're going to always smile, right? We're going to always share a smile, because that can be the one thing that, that takes somebody off that
Yeah.
bridge, right? It's
Absolutely.
going to help them back up. It's going to lift their spirits, whatever. It don't cost you nothing to share a smile.
Right.
So send us an email at smile@consuelanicole.com. Miss Felicia, before we end, I want you to have the last words.
Yeah.
If they didn't hear nothing else from you, if they don't remember nothing else, what is the one or two things you want them to take away from you today?
It's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. But you have to pick yourself up and you have to figure out ways to heal. No one can tell you how to do that. They can give you advice, they can give you steps, but you have to do the work. And my motto is create a masterpiece of your life with style and grace. So just continue to create a masterpiece. Even when you have to start over, continue to create your masterpiece, because that's life. You're going to have to start over. You're going to have to keep going and keep doing it in spite of. So just reach to God for your strength and always walk beside him, because that's the only way you can get through anything like this. And I'm so grateful that God loved me enough to pick me up and not allow me to stay in that broken space that I was in for those 3 years, and that I'm slowly getting better. And, still pray for me, still check on me, still, look out for me, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And I trust God. And I know my son left this message for me with a lot of people. He went and visited a lot of people before he died. And he told them all, you have to have faith of a mustard seed. And that was for me, because he knew that I was going to have faith to get through this. And so I can just tell everyone that keep the faith, and just know that even when it seems like God has forgotten about you, he has not. He loves you, and you can make it through anything as long as you have God with you.
Amen. And on that note, thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on What's in Your Cup Conversations. Make sure you tune in for the season 1 finale, happening on May 22nd, right here on the same pages of What's in Your Cup Conversations. Until next time, everybody, have a good night.
Good night.